John Stockwell followed me to Allentown on my 27th birthday. He was a veteran of the CIA and the National Security Council. He made a point of underlining the date when he signed his autograph and wrote my birthday. There was a lot of peer espionage going on because they had planted these conspiracy letters on me as a child. And were trying to position me so that they could leave me holding the bag. And a lot of rhetoric was going on about drug delinquency. And one of the points that John Stockwell made was that even though the MK Ultra was a real program of Miles Kirshner, the Central Intelligence Agency, Mein Kampf, and other interested deceptioneers, you might call them. The CIA would never admit the magnitude of it because it would open them to a class action lawsuit from all the people who were poisoned by drugs. And as you can see, an Attica State Prison warden created the extreme situation chemical that for all appearances Mackenzie Shirella was sacrificed to in a car bomb incident, and records of which impact on a child or handwritten notes I made trying to describe the indescribable. It was indescribable. So Mackenzie was singled out because the attackers made a lot of pornography of me. They have a Bukkake image of me when I was 9 years old that just thrills Yoko Ono to death. And Michael Reagan has all kind of favorite scenes. And they went digging in the mesh of the impact and neuroobedience of their golem. And I tried to struggle out by delivering editorials at Pitt News so a person could see the ideology that was being targeted by their heat wave. And they made a lot of money under the counter with showman pornography. And they created an alibi structure, which was that my letter crying out in alarm and pain against Leslie Katz's defamations of my character were top secretly. They claimed a threat. And so psychology and psychiatry and prison authorities came in and created a corrections pornography study to observation, the object of their heat wave. And I was an innocent singular victim who they came on to with really aggressive and cruel ideas about poisoning people when they poisoned me in the mouth and on the lip. And they said the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Really pure cold-blooded hatred for their own victims. And they were just poachers. And they claimed, oh, well, we have a higher brand of victimization that we have the right to take you hostage to. And it's all this UW dialectical. It's an analogous to saying, if the life expectancy of one class of people is lower than the life expectancy of another class of people, the people with a higher life expectancy should be put to death at the mean of the lower life expectancy. And this is UW, University of Washington, in practice, rather than trying to make things better. And universally, life expectancy is falling all across the United States of America. It's not like if that's what getting the job done is, they're getting the job done. And it's hideously ruthless. And to say that Mackenzie Shirilla doesn't deserve to be regarded as a very singular exampling of a hostage, I think is wrong-headed. It's a violation of the whole principle of American estate, which takes into consideration the individual and being victimized. You know, we can argue about taxes and we can argue about proper canvassing of philanthropies, but you can't even pay a poet. It's so dishonest that it's frightening, genuinely frightening. And the reason I grieved so deeply for Mackenzie Shirilla is I know that these unimpeachable magistrates, mothers of victims, school board attendants, deputy police investigators have no chance of comprehending the horrifying impact of those extreme situation neurohypnotic chemicals from Dr. Mackenzie and Wattenmaker that were used to target Shirilla and take control of her psyche so that it detonated. And I think the whole thing announces itself in the accident as a car bomb. I don't like any allegations to the effect that it's an attempt to open a class action suit against the MK Ultra, because that dehumanizes Mackenzie Shirilla. She's a specific person. If you want a class action suit against the MK Ultra, you should go back and blame Peter Gabriel for advocating for the program, because in 1984, when he claims to have discovered papers that he wrote, they had an opportunity to arrest Gail Burstany and Wattenmaker and say, what gives in Allegheny County that these deadly hallucinogens are being created by the prison authorities? And they refused to. So I think it's a poach that was created by Seattle espionage in the name of things like the Jericho Project, and that accounts for the hybrid aspects that we're seeing. They don't care about Mackenzie. They're not bleeding for anybody. They're just crazy. And I don't think it should be tolerated. I think every single so-called professional with sound mental health should be found without a job.